Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Tamiya. And this is quite an interesting model because it's a Nashorn in a 1/48 scale, so it should be an interesting build for modelers who don't want to deal with a classic 1/35 scale model. And Japanese manufacturer promises that it will be quite detailed set, so it will be interesting to see what is actually supplied here and why this model is worth your attention. By the way, note that this is already a 100th military miniature series kit, so it's quite an interesting, let's say, anniversary release. And also we have a quite nice box art. It hints that maybe inside there will be also a figure included. Box size is standard for this brand. Here is comparison with my hand. Next, on the side here you can see one of the marking options. Obviously we are also getting this winter camouflage which we saw on the box art, so here it is. And of course this kit was bought with your help, with your donation, so really thank you for such, let's say, chance to check this model. So as you can see, box is pretty much filled with sprues. Each sprue is packed into the separate plastic bag, so we'll be checking them one by one. And then gradually we will move on to the assembly manual and other things which are included into this kit. So pretty much basic, let's say, layout of our video reviews. And now I'm trying to remove the paper clips. As usual, Tamiya is quite generous on them, so I would recommend to use special tool for removing those because you can easily damage your fingers and then it might look ugly, let's say. So that's why it's better to be safe and use the special tool straight away. So here we start with the first frame, and as you can see it comes in a light brown color, I would say even sand color. So here obviously we have a hull parts. As you can see, these are side armor panels for the superstructure. We have standing figure included, and I suggest we zoom in even closer so that you can take a closer look at all these parts. So as you can see, overall quality looks quite fine, and I mean that's a typical Tamiya, let's say, quality level, so that's why there is nothing to worry about. We have a lot of pre-molded features, so it's just a matter of bringing them out with the help of painting and weathering, and you'll get a really nice result. And I also like these side shells. Note that they are molded as a single piece part, so you won't have to deal with separate elements. Here you can see also glacis plate and floor of the fighting compartment, and maybe we can also flip it over because here you can see we have also bottom part detailed, and here you can check the rear side of the figure, which also looks quite nice. I mean, recently Tamiya, let's say, upped their quality of the figures, so I would say this is a quite decent addition to the kit, especially considering that we are not paying anything extra for such thing. And of course it will make your build a bit more realistic looking, a bit more interesting, so that's why it's better not to be lazy and paint this figure. Place it beside your Nashorn on some nice base and your build will only, let's say, win from this. Next we continue with the second plastic sprue. So this one, as far as you can see, is dedicated to the main gun. And here starts quite interesting thing. For example, you can see straight away that muzzle brake is separated into two hulls, so you have to glue them somehow, or you can just find the metal replacement, which will be a way better looking alternative. And of course it will cost some extra money, but you will get a better detailing on such model. And believe me, in 1/48 scale it still will be noticeable, so that's a worthy investment, let's say, and that's why I recommend it as a, let's say, credible alternative to the standard parts. Here you can take a closer look to this on this main barrel. So basically only the muzzle brake is molded out of two hulls, but this is a quite visible part. So that's why it's better to be on the safe side, and if you have a chance and money to spend on the alternative metal part, it's better to do so because it will win you time first, and second, it will ensure a proper appearance of your model and proper finish as well. So I'm opening the next plastic bag in the meantime, so just give me a second. I can see also that, let's say, designers, they thought that thought through that main gun will be visible, so that's why it's necessary to have it more or less detailed, and that's why we have it quite nice representation of the main gun. As you can see, a lot of internal elements are copied, and this is really important in this kit. Next, we continue with the sprue, which is given in 2 pieces. Obviously, it is dedicated to the drivetrain of this tank or vehicle. So here you can see that we have plastic tracks, we have also plastic road wheels. Note that some track links are molded separately, they will be wrapped around this drive sprocket. And we can zoom in even closer so that you can check all these parts closer. Obviously there are no painting masks included, so you will have to paint all these tires with your own hands. Here you can take a look at the track parts, by the way. And everything looks cool. I can see that there are, let's say, guiding elements where they should be, so it won't be a difficult task to combine them all together. It's just a matter of, let's say, getting them off the sprue, installing into the right spots, and maybe deciding how you will paint these parts, because, again, I remind you that there are no masks included, and that's why it might be tricky for some modelers to get a nice paint work on these rubber bandages on the road wheels. But other than that, it's just a classic Tamiya set. Okay, now I'm opening the last plastic sprue, and here we have parts for the lower hull section. So just give me a second to move it aside, and here it is. So as you can see, that's the lower plate, if we can call it so. Here's the side panel and another one. Note the suspension elements are pre-molded, which is, I would say, quite interesting design. So we can zoom in so that you can see it closer. Maybe we zoom in even closer. Here you can take a closer look. And if we flip it over, inside you'll find quite large guiding elements, and the same applies to this side panels. As you can see, we have this recessed border area which will help you with the proper alignment of these parts together. And I mean, that's quite clever design, so nothing to complain about. Next we proceed with, there is a small note on how to build your model, so tech tips. I mean, that's a traditional Tamiya stuff, so nothing special. Next, we also have the marking guide, which is printed in black and white. Now, that's something I think looks strange in 2021, but here it is. We have a short history note, and here's the marking guide with the marking option 1, and it's plain empty inside, and here we have the winter version. So basically, we have only 2 marking options in this kit. We also have decals, and again I need to open or remove these paper clips in order to get them out. And we will take a closer look at the decals set. Well, decals are not that huge here. And you can, I mean, it's easy to understand why, because we have only 2 marking options. Here you can take a closer look, but still printing quality is quite okay. They're a bit of on the thick side, as you can see, but that's also traditional, let's say, feature of the Tamiya decals, so nothing surprising here. And we can move on to the assembly manual, which is printed also in black and white. So here it is. Let's zoom out a bit. And history note was on the separate brochure, so assembly process starts with metal weights, which are included, by the way, here in the box. And we place them inside hull so that there will be additional weight, but obviously nobody, let's say, makes you to do so. So if you would like to leave them aside, you can just assemble the empty hull. Here you continue with the fighting compartment floor. Here we install various external elements on the lower hull section and also rear armor wall here. Next we proceed with road wheels, drive sprockets, and also here we have idler wheels. Next we install plastic tracks in place, and do not forget that there is a slight sagging on them. And here we continue with side shelves, which will be installed on the tracks. Note also that the spare wheels are also included here, which is a quite nice touch. It might be handy to remove one and leave this bracket empty. Next we proceed working on the glacis plate here. So here we continue with side panels. So as you can see, these are armor plates which are detailed both inside and outside. Next, we start assembling main gun. So again, I remind you that you should be careful while working with this section of the main gun. Here we continue with installing it on your vehicle, and I can see that it's attaching gun barrel, but there are some assembly options. They should be, because we can replicate the vehicle in the fighting position, and we can also replicate it in a stealth position. But I can see that gun will be movable. It will be achieved with vinyl polycaps, and that's pretty much all what is offered here, even though we have this main gun stand, so maybe you can retract it if you would like to. Note that the towing cable, it's a plastic part, we saw it, and here on the rear side we have some tips on the painting this model. But that's quite straightforward. Assembly process, as you can see, 26 steps in all in total, and whole set should be already available, so you can get it on in any good model shop, in my opinion. I think ModelMX has them, and of course I will be happy to hear your opinion about such a list. Do not forget to write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye!